Good morning, everyone. We are continuing from the last class where we had started with graphs of linear equations. I had shown you how if you have an equation given in the slope-intercept form, that is y equals to mx plus c, how you can plot a graph based on that equation. Here I have with me an equation 8x plus 4y equals to 12. The question asks you to graph the line and find the slope as well as intercept of this equation or of this line, right? So once again, here it is specifically asked you to graph the line and find slope and intercept. If they do not mention or they do not explicitly mention graphing, you can simply convert this into the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals to mx plus c, or some books write it as y equals to ax plus b. Okay, both of them mean the same thing. I have come across students who have memorized y equals to ax plus b formula as well. That's why I'm mentioning both here. So if it has not been explicitly told to graph the function, you can simply convert it into this form. Now this form is called the slope-intercept form of the line. Okay, slope-intercept form of a linear equation, right? And the coefficient of x, that is the parameter that comes along with x, is the slope, and the constant that comes in this form would be the intercept. And remember, here intercept means y-intercept, or where the function crosses the vertical y-axis. But in this question they have asked you to graph it. So let us proceed with graphing. Once again, to make it easier, I am going to convert it into y equals to mx plus c form. So let's see how we go about it. I am leaving 4y here. I take minus 8x to the right hand side, so it is minus 8x plus 12, and y will be minus 8x plus 12 whole divided by 4. So I'm just going to write it as this. So y is equal to minus 2x plus 3. As you can see, if it has not been told to graph the equation from this slope-intercept form of the equation itself, you can mention that the slope will be minus 2 and the intercept will be, y-intercept will be 3. Remember, y-intercept is always given by putting x equal to 0 in the original equation or in the slope-intercept equation. Okay, now let's try and plot it. Since they asked us to graph it, let us graph it. I'll just clear this to create some space, and let me plot the equation function. So to do that, first I need to find two coordinates. So drawing the table x, y. Okay, remember, you can assume any values of x that you like. So first I'm going to put x equal to 0. So my first x coordinate is 0. I want to find out what will the y be. Y will be minus 2 times 0 plus 3. Like I said, it would be the intercept term. Now remember, to plot a straight line you need a minimum of, or at least 2 points, coordinates of 2 points. So let's assume any other value of, let's say I put x equals to 3. Remember, you have absolute freedom, you can choose whichever point you want. So if the value of x is 3, what will be the value of y? It will be minus 2 times 3 plus 3, which is minus 6 plus 3, which is equal to minus 3, right? So over here, this box gives me coordinates for 2 points. One is 0, 3, the other is 3, minus 3. Once I plot these 2 points on the graph, I take a ruler and extend it, join the 2 dots or the 2 points with a straight line and extend it on either side, and that would be the function y equals to minus 2x plus 3 or 8x plus 4y equals to 12. Since this has come from this original equation, both represent the same function. I'll just plot it and show you. So here is the graph which has been plotted. I apologize for the untidy diagram, but I'm working with a magnetic pen. I suggest that you do this with a ruler and a pencil on a sheet of paper, and you will get a much more pretty looking straight line. Okay, my line looks slightly curved, so I apologize for that, but I hope you got the idea. And right, what you have already found out the intercept because your function is crossing the y-axis at this point. So your intercept would be 0, 3 or y equals to 3 is the 0, 3 is the point where the function crosses the y-axis. Right? Remember, if in this table you hadn't assumed x to be 0 and calculated the y to be 3, you had found out some other coordinates, even then, if you extend the straight line, your straight line would have met the y-axis at the exact same point, 0, 3. You can always experiment and convince yourself. Now, how do you find the slope of this equation? The slope of the equation can be found, or slope of this graph can be found in this manner. I'm just changing the slide so that you can have a clearer look. So first you need to remember what is the formula for slope. Once again, you can always say that y equals to mx plus c. So m's value is minus 2. You can quote that the slope is minus 2. But I just want to show you another alternative method to calculating the slope of the same function. Okay, 1 second. So I'm just showing you an alternative method to calculate the slope, and the formula is m, or the slope, is equal to change in y by change in x. So change in y, the triangle is read as delta, which represents change or difference. So delta y can be written as y2 minus y1, and delta x can be written as x2 minus x1. Now y2, x2, y1, x1. These are any 2 points on the equation or the function. Now we estimated 2 points, right, for the line. One was 0, 3 and the other was 3, minus 3. So you can always use this formula of slope, delta y by delta x, to estimate the slope. So delta y by delta x, y2 minus y1 will be minus 3 minus 3, that is y2 minus y1, divided by x2 minus x1. x2's value is 3 and x1's value is 0. So you have got minus 6 divided by 3, which is equal to minus 2. As you can see, our slope intercept form of the line in the previous, our slope intercept form had also given us the same value, minus 2, as the slope. but I just discussed the other method so that you are prepared for finding answers in different methods. Okay. Now let's have a look at another type of question. It reads like this: graph and find the slope and intercept of a line which passes through -3, -5 and 2, 1. Now in this case, you should remember that to plot a straight line function, you need a minimum of 2 points, coordinates of 2 points, and those 2 points are already given to us. So graphing it should be quite simple. But how do you find the slope and intercept of the point? Let's have a look. So here I have labeled the x and the y axis. The horizontal axis is the sleeping line, is the x axis. The vertical axis or the standing line is my y axis. My first point, I'll just plot it in a different color. Yeah, my first point is -3, -5. So -3 on the x axis is here and -5 on the x axis, y axis is here. So the point would be approximately here. Now please ensure that you're using a ruler to plot these graphs, and also ensure that your points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, the scale is properly measured so that you have equal gap between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and so on. Okay, that will give you most accurate results. Your second point is 2, 1. So on the x axis I have 2 and on the y axis 1, so the intersection will be here, 2, 1. So approximately this would be the function. You can extend it on either side of the points, and as you can see, the y-intercept will be the point where the function is crossing the y-axis. So I am looking for the coordinates of this point. Okay. Now, what is the slope of the function? Okay, what is the slope of the function? The slope of the function again can be found out by taking any 2 points on this equation and using the formula m is delta y by delta x. You have the freedom to choose any 2 points on this equation. So if you have plotted this line properly using a ruler, you can find the correct and exact coordinates of any point that you want. Because I don't have that freedom, I'm just going to use these 2 points which are given to us, that is -3 and -5 are x1, y1, and 2 and 1 are my x2, y2. So delta y is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So I'm gonna write this as 1 minus -5 divided by x2 minus x1 will be 2 minus -3. Okay, remember, since it's minus of -5, it will become 1 plus 5, and in the denominator it's minus of -3, so it will become plus 3, which means it is 6 by 5. So the slope of the equation is positive 6 by 5. Okay, the intercept, again, if you have plotted this accurately using a ruler, you can simply read it off this diagram. Because I haven't done that, I'm going to find the equation and then tell you the intercept. So if you have found slope in this manner, you can write the equation find out the equation that represents this line that we have plotted in its point-intercept form. Okay, the point-intercept form, the equation takes this form. You need the slope and coordinates of any one point. So we know that slope is equal to 6, 5, and you need the coordinates of any one point on the line. So I'm going to take 2, 1 as the point. You might take -3, -5, or you can take any one of the points from the straight line that you have plotted. Now, to find this equation, the formula is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Okay, this is called the point-intercept form, or the point-interceptor formula if you want. So keep y as it is, put the value of y1 is equal to m times, and we know that m is 6/5, x minus x1. So I'm just gonna expand this on the next page. Okay, y minus 1 is equal to 6/5, x minus 2. So writing it again, y minus 1 is equal to 6/5, x minus 2. I can take 5 to the left hand side. It is in the denominator on the left hand side, right hand side. So when it goes to the left hand side, it will become 5 times y minus 1. In other words, I'm doing cross multiplication, is equal to 6 into x minus 2. So I have got 5y minus 5 is equal to 6x minus 12. So 5y is equal to 6x minus 12 plus 5. 6x minus 7. Okay, I can convert it into the slope intercept form, that is y equals to mx plus c, 6/5 x minus 7/5. So putting x equal to 0, I will get my y value as minus 7/5 or minus 1.4. So my intercept, y-intercept, has the coordinates 0, minus 7/5 or minus 1.4. Let's just have a look at the graph. Well, you can attribute the inaccuracy to the fact that I have drawn it with a free hand. I'm sure if you have done it properly with a ruler and a pencil, that is indeed the point that you will get. So I'll just plot that 0, minus 7/5 or minus 1.4. Right? I've shown you both ways, the graphical method as well as the equation method of solving this, so that you can use whichever is more convenient to you. Remember, throughout your mathematical tools paper, there might be different ways of solving the same question. As long as the mathematical logic is not wrong and your answer is correct, you will get the full marks. Only in the case where a specific method has been mentioned, you should ensure that you are following it. So if it says to solve for the roots of a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula, be sure to use minus b plus or minus root under b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. If it has been told in this equation to graph it and then find, then be sure that you do show the graph that I have plotted over here. Okay? And even if you do an additional step, it's okay, but do not miss out on the method that they have specifically asked in the question.